If you've been on the internet for a long time, you've definitely heard of Dead Space. Released in October of 2008, Dead Space followed the journey of an everyman, an engineer of the far future by the name of Isaac Clarke. Isaac, our playable character, has been sent on a very important mission to one USG Ishimura. The ship went dark and its repair is of great importance to the company Isaac works for. The ship's importance is multi-layered, however, as a certain someone is also on board the vessel. A someone by the name of Nicole Brennan, girlfriend to our protagonist. The aim of the game is established rather quickly. Prepare the ship and rescue our girlfriend. As we think over our mission, we also think of all the ways it could possibly go wrong. This is a horror game after all. It's to be expected. But whatever you conjure up in your mind could never prepare you for the true horrors aboard this ship.
What was that? Did you hear that?
Not sure.
What the hell? I don't know. Something's in the room with us. Come on. Got it!
Isaac, get the hell out of there!
The door's unlocked! Run! Run, Isaac! Get the hell out of there!
These are necromorphs, creatures formed from the bodies of the ship's crew. It's unknown at this point in the story how these monsters were actually made, and how they managed to spread so quickly, but those questions are put on the back burner as the survivors realise the Ishimura is highly unstable, and if they don't do something about it, they will die. That's what takes up much of Dead Space 1's story, fixing the ship and forming an escape plan, all while fighting through hordes of necromorphs. The necromorphs are not the only horror aboard the vessel, however. A universe-wide religion is also present. Unitology. The religion of Unitology itself appears innocent and has values of peace and, you guessed it, unity. But historically, even the most peaceful of religions are rife with fanaticism. The ship has many Unitologists on board who engage with such fanaticism. They experiment on the creatures, commit mass suicide, and make decisions that serve to further the spread of these necromorphs. But why would they do this? Well, madness aside, they do it for the marker. The marker is the symbol of their religion, so when a mysterious red marker was found by CEC colonists scouting Aegis 7, the planet just below the Ishimura, well, you can bet that the Church of Unitology were very interested. It's of no surprise that a religion with so much influence was able to put so many of their own aboard the mining vessel appointed to drain the planet below. Now what if I told you that the marker was producing signals, and those signals slowly began to drive everyone insane, driving them to kill each other out of paranoia or religious fervour? Now what if I told you that those same signals could reanimate the flesh of the dead and turn them into the necromorphs? Things have gone from bad to worse for Isaac, and this isn't just a random outbreak. It happened because of this alien monolith, a monolith that is vital to a religion of billions of people across the entire galaxy. It's safe to say that things weren't pretty on the Ishimura. Much of the Unitologists went along with the outbreak, many ending their own lives so they could serve as fodder for the necromorphs, becoming one with them and the marker. Maybe this was the unity they were promised by the church, albeit extremely twisted. One Unitologist and his wife were against this infection, however, Dr. Kine.
Mr. Clarke, I need to speak with you. My name is Terence Kine, Dr. Kine. Listen to me. There isn't much time. If you really can repair the shuttle, there is a better use for it than just running away. You must understand, the forces at work here are greater than you can imagine. If you leave now, you condemn all humanity. The planet will never stop, never rest unless the marker is returned. Don't you see? The church is wrong. This is all a trap. I've seen it. Please, you must help me.
I say wife, but he tells us that the marker must be returned. Returned to the planet beneath us. That's where it sat forever. And until it was removed, these necromorphs were not here. But when it was taken, the infection began. If it's returned, the creatures will surely stand down.
They don't know what's happened here, what's been released. Look. Look at this. That is what we found in the core of the planet. Mercer calls it the hive mind. It's the source, controlling the necromorphs telepathically. We were so stupid. But Amelia, she knew it could be stopped by returning the marker to the planet. The marker was containing it within the planet. Return the marker and seal the hive mind.
Before he can see this skull through, however, a friend of ours kills him. Kendra. It's revealed that this marker is an alien, but the black marker on Earth is. This is just a copy, a red marker made by humanity. Still as capable as the black marker, but of course not made by aliens. The government made the same mistakes the colonists and the miners did, and prohibited anyone from entering the system the planet was located in. This mining expedition was illegal to begin with, which isn't as bad as literally everything else that's happened, but I still bring it up as a point I'll expand on later. The government knows what the markers are capable of, and want Kendra to recover it so they can protect it, since hiding it hasn't worked. I should have probably brought this up sooner, but Isaac has also met up with his girlfriend at this point.
Nicole, I need you to help me. Help us. Now. I'm in the flight control room. Please, Isaac, hurry. Please. I love you.
Together, they hatch a plan to stop Kendra, recover the marker, and end the outbreak. And they do just that.
Believed in you. I knew you'd return to me. We are whole again, Isaac. We are whole.
Emergency. Geo-orbital gravity tethers offline. Tectonic load released. Impact imminent. Evacuate this area immediately.
Not before Kendra recovers the marker and traps Isaac. With the outbreak back in full swing, Kendra reveals to Isaac that Nicole has been long dead, even before he arrived.
Marker's coming with me. It's a shame. I was starting to like you. Even if you are insane. What, you don't believe me? Take a look at yourself. Better yet, take a look at the video from Nicole. And this time, watch it right to the end. One little thing. I didn't want it to end like this. I really wanted to see you again. Just once. I loved you. I always loved you.
This isn't the only reveal, however, as this revelation implies that the marker itself is sentient, since it manipulated Isaac and Kine into fulfilling the same goal. But why would the marker want to prevent the outbreak? Well, that's revealed at the end of the game, when Isaac faces off against the thing controlling the necromorphs. The hive mind. Isaac kills the thing, and as he sits aboard an escape ship, he thinks of all the people he lost, not before being jump scared by a bloodied Nicole. Everything goes quiet for a second, and then a bright light.
Isaac, can you hear me? Dana, I found Isaac Clark. Repeat, I have him.
Great work, Franco. Be careful. He's been out a long time.
This is where Dead Space 2 begins. Immediately after the jump scare, Isaac awakens in an unknown place by an unknown person. This person is quickly killed, and in a state of complete confusion, Isaac runs as fast as he can, away from the creatures he had just escaped from. A voice guides him along his path, Dana. Isaac does not remember anything, due to memory suppressants that were being used on him to treat this dementia. A dementia caused by the marker in Dead Space 1. This is a lot for Isaac to take in, and he makes it well known that he does not trust Dana. But what choice does he have? This trust is fruitful for a time, with Isaac narrowly avoiding death while being haunted by Nicole, hallucinations caused by his dementia. However, these can't be just hallucinations. We know that because of Dead Space 1. These visions are certainly manifestations of Isaac's guilt, but they are inspired by his guilt, not made from them. It's the marker's signals, still lingering in his mind, that wish to torment him. That sentient monolith destroyed in the first game still lives on within Isaac's head. The reasoning for this is revealed when Isaac finally meets up with Dana. Instead of being rescued, Dana reveals herself as a unitologist. She wants Isaac so he can build more markers for the church, and spread the marker plague across the entire universe. Isaac is obviously like, well, the actual fuck lady. I didn't build no markers. But she is right. That pulsating, the hallucinations, the instructions on how to make a marker were imprinted in Isaac's mind. And when he was found by the government, they had him making markers for 3 years. That means Isaac is in some way responsible for the marker that caused this outbreak, as he is the one who built this marker. It's more so the fault of the government for manipulating Isaac and using him with such an obviously dangerous scheme. But why would the government want to make markers? To put it simply, humanity is way too large and energy is an issue. The markers create energy, so the government wants to make more markers. Obviously, they now know how to contain it and prevent an outbreak, but those unitologists, man, the marker is like a holy being to them, and the government was keeping their holy being imprisoned. So they broke it out, and now we have necromorphs running around everywhere, killing everyone. This idea of building markers is also why the marker wanted to return to the pedestal in Dead Space 1 so badly. The pedestal was an amplifier, allowing the marker to control the hive mind, that could then control the necromorphs, and make them all stand down, while infecting Isaac with the marker instructions. Isaac would have had a pretty easy escape, and he would then go on to build more markers everywhere. So when the time is right, the markers could then activate and infect everyone. Kendra put a wrench in this plan though, and the hive mind now had a mind of its own. It got rowdy and tried killing Isaac, but luckily he pulled through, and the marker was able to see its scheme to completion. So if the marker wants Isaac to live, then why the hell is it trying to stab him in the face? Well, that's a question to be answered shortly. The government come in and try to gun down Isaac in order to cover everything up. Luckily, Isaac escapes, and Dana is shredded. After a short run-in with this thing, Isaac is sent through an airlock and gets a call from a fellow patient called Stross. Stross says that since they made the markers together, they could find a way to destroy it. Along their journey, they meet Ellie, and the three of them once again plot to destroy the marker. This is looking a lot like the first game, but you'll be glad to know that no one dies this time. Almost no one. Before confronting the marker that caused this outbreak, Isaac receives one last hallucination from Nicole.
Step 4. Acceptance. Now you're ready to finish this.
Isaac has accepted the guilt being used against him, and is free from its harm. But if you recall, I said this wasn't Isaac's guilt. No. This was the marker messing with him, and sure enough, as he approaches it, it turns on him in an effort to consume him. The marker realised that the bully Isaac until he kills himself strategy wasn't going to work, so it figured it was easier to lure him in and try to kill him itself. The marker needs to consume him so it can fully complete convergence. If you were wondering why the necromorphs randomly began to fly into the sky, that's why. Now, we never see convergence play out as Isaac does kill the marker, but if it had, well. Now I know what you may be thinking, this is a Dead Space 3 video, yet all we've spoken about is Dead Space 1 and 2. Well, first of all, I'm sorry if you feel as if I've wasted your time here. But secondly, this was all very necessary when we get to discussing the story of Dead Space 3, and how it expands the lore and makes previous games even better because of it. Think of the beginning as me putting down a blanket. Now we can get to the actual picnic itself. Be warned though, I'm not going to be as brief with Dead Space 3 as I was with the previous 2 games. I mean, I didn't even mention the fact that Ellie gets straight up stabbed by Strauss in Dead Space 2, or the fact that Hammond as a character exists in Dead Space 1. I didn't want to explain everything, only the most important parts. With that being said, let's delve into the story of Dead Space 3. The story of Dead Space 3 begins with Tim Kaufman. Tim isn't all too important to the story, but he is our protagonist for this opening section, guided by one Dr. Serrano. Serrano tells us that we need to find the Codex, as it's the key to stopping everything. Considering it's the 3rd entry in the series, we can already guess what we are trying to stop. After dealing with these necromorphs, Tim is able to find this Codex, but before he can even get fought in, the ship begins to slide off the cliff it's resting on. Dangling from a wire, Tim scrambles down the cliffside, jumping over gaps, sliding past debris, and narrowly escaping with his life. But not for long, as he's executed by General Mahad. He asks Tim if he loves his family, if he loves Earth. Tim says yes, and this is when Mahad delivers a shot to Tim's head, which of course kills him. Mahad picks up the Codex, resets it, and turns to the flag of the Sovereign Colonies. He points the gun to his chin, and with a moment of slight hesitation, he follows through, and pulls the trigger. This is an amazing intro, and does exactly what it set out to do. First of all, 2 very important characters are established, Serrano and Mahad. The 2 of course opposed to each other, as Mahad executes Serrano in a metaphorical sort of way. Tim is embodied by Serrano. When Mahad kills Tim, it tells us that whatever Serrano was trying to accomplish was in direct opposition to the goals of Mahad. This is further emphasized when Mahad straight up just wipes everything on the Codex. If the Codex was truly the thing that could end the outbreak, Mahad has effectively prevented any chance of defeating these creatures. We are allowed to ponder the situation they found themselves in, throwing names around in our head. So when we actually hear about them later, we can point at our screens and say, I know that guy. It's a foundation. It sets up various questions. Mysteries that are gradually solved as the game continues. What caused this outbreak? Who the hell is Serrano and Mahad? Are we wrong in our beliefs of them? When Mahad kills Tim, it seems as if it's coming from a good place. Was Mahad right to do this? What even is the Codex anyway? What even is this flag? Sovereign Colonies? All I know is good old EarthGov. With the mysteries of the game established, we are sent forward 200 years.
Brother, sisters. The age of man is at an end.
The full speech is cut off, and we're greeted with Isaac Clarke and Ellie. Or rather, a photo of them. One torn in two. It's immediately obvious that the two have broken up, and judging by the beer bottles, our main man isn't taking it so well. A message from Ellie also plays, and it immediately sets up that there's no hatred on her part towards Isaac. She is moving on. She has to. This subtle wording implies something that we don't know yet, so we can put a pin in it. As the message plays, we see those aforementioned beer bottles, but also something very interesting, several pieces of paper, covered in marker scribbles. These aren't annotations or carefully documented notes, they're messy and unorganized. It's obvious that Isaac is not doing this of his own free will, which does match up with previous depictions of the marker, and how it affects people. Walls are covered in these games with the same insane ramblings. It seems that the mind is compelled to do this, and if you're special, you may even begin to understand the marker's language. A language that is fully translatable, by the way. Isaac had a piece of the marker living in his head for 3 years, and even though it doesn't haunt him anymore, the compulsions and trauma do. This may be why he angrily swipes him aside. He hates the fact that he's like this. There's an idea put forth that Isaac overcame his guilt, or that he overcame his trauma, just by beating the marker in Dead Space 2. But this isn't the case. He beat the marker and that's it. Hell, the man was ready to just let himself die right there. He was still very mentally troubled. Troubled to the point where he just gave up on any chance of escape. Luckily, Ellie came back for him, and that's why he looks so hopeful in that game's ending. He has her. And furthermore, when he turns to her, he doesn't see Nicole. In Dead Space 1, the past came back to haunt him, but in Dead Space 2, he sees his future. He sees a chance. But life isn't so simple. After the events of Dead Space 2, Ellie is compelled to stop the markers. She has to.
34. Isaac, I know you're there. Come on, pick up the phone. Fine. Look, I just called to say I'm moving on. I have to. Just take care of yourself, okay?
Titan Station was a tragedy for everyone, but especially Ellie.
Ellie, are you guys there? Did you make it?
Shit, Isaac. Just... shit.
Hey, take it easy. It's okay.
No, it's not. I was right here this morning with a crew of 30 people. But we were overrun. And before I knew it, they transformed. I had to cut the arms and legs off my friends just to escape. I'm sure there's pieces of them still lying around here somewhere.
Ellie, I know. I'm sorry.
For one, she survived with all the trauma and survivor's guilt that comes with surviving. But the things she had to do to survive were terrible. She had to hack up her own friends so they wouldn't turn. But the effect it had on Ellie was the opposite of what it had on Isaac. While Isaac was left battered by the trauma, Ellie uses it as fuel. She doesn't want others to go through what she went through, and has dedicated her life to stopping the markers once and for all. This is where the disconnect occurs. Ellie wants to chase the markers and prevent future outbreaks. Isaac wants to stay away, understandably so. Not only has he been forced to go through 2 outbreaks, but all in the span of like 2 days. Keep in mind, the memory suppressants wiped everything within that 3-year time span, between Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2. The horror of the Ishimura is still extremely fresh in his mind. Isaac wants no part of any of this, but Ellie does. They are at odds with each other, and this disconnect only continues to grow. Ellie wants Isaac to open up, but he can't. And how could he? Would anyone understand? Would they truly understand? Well, it's my opinion that Ellie would have, but Isaac didn't think so. He let his pain manifest, and it spiraled out of control, and right onto the pages seen here. The bottles have further context now. Is he drinking to forget Ellie, or is he drinking to forget everything? Isaac is a deeply troubled man, so much so that he's unable to connect with those around him. He's mentally scarred, and as the game unravels, we see the true extent of his pain unravel with it. Isaac's door opens up, and he's ambushed by 2 EarthGov soldiers. They go back and forth. Norton, this guy, wants Isaac to tag along on something marker related, and Isaac is like, what the actual fuck dude, I'm not helping you find no markers. But Norton flashes a picture of Ellie, says she's in danger, and Isaac is now along for the ride. Keep in mind, Ellie was Isaac's light at the end of Dead Space 2, and judging by the intro of this game, this hasn't changed. Isaac picks himself up, and now we have control. With the ability to move and look as we please, we can pick up further details about Isaac's life. Judging by the state of his apartment, and the fact that his rent is due, Isaac is pretty poor. That does add to how hopeless we find Isaac, but we also find out that he and Ellie were so poor, they couldn't even afford a proper new eye for her. I only mentioned it in passing, but yeah, Ellie lost her eye in the second game due to an SRE. They could afford a new eye for Ellie, but it's a different colour to the one she actually has normally. It's also worth noting that in the text log mentioning the eye, Isaac mentions how at least Ellie can feel whole again. This further confirms my point earlier about how the marker touches you, and you never really get rid of it. The marker has left its mark on Isaac, influencing him to the point where he can't help but scribble down these marker writings, to the point where it even influences his language to an extent. Anyway, let's get out of this apartment. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the unitologists are bombing the city Isaac lives in. Speaking of unitologists, after making our way outside, we are finally able to hear Danik's speech completely. So there's a lot to unpack here, starting off with his opening line.
Brothers and sisters, the age of man is at an end. We have become too many, too little to go around. Corporations that we once trusted with our money have squandered it. The governments that we once trusted with our future sabotaged it. For their eternal credit, we are dying. But fear not. There is a future. As promised by the prophet Michael Orton, the Black Marker has a plan for all of you. It will lift us up from our miserable existence, and we will become one. United in body and united in spirit. Our unity will be our salvation. We will live on, not as men, but as God. The Church of Unitology is waiting for you, my friends. Throw off the chains of this life and join us as the new one begins. I'm Jacob Arthur Danik, and I am this message.
Brothers and sisters, the age of man is at an end. Now there isn't a whole lot to look into here, but we can pick up a few themes of his speech. First off, we have the typical religious addressing of brothers and sisters. This is the least important part of his speech, but it does tell us how the Unitologists see each other. It's like they're a family, with all the love and care associated with the word. Now I wanted to highlight this, as it immediately discredits anti-Unitologists in an interesting way. Someone could hear the speech and be like, this guy's speaking a whole lot of hogwash. Now this person could be anyone with any amount of credentials or connections to you. But the mere fact of the matter is Danik is appealing emotionally to whoever hears his speech. He wastes no time in sinking his claws in, immediately making things friendly and cordial. You're a part of the family, a brother or a sister. Listen to our message. Give us a chance to explain ourselves. We could never do any wrong. We care. Now, if someone tells you Danik is a bullshitter, regardless of who that person is to you, Danik already has a big advantage, as he's appealed to the softer side of all of us. Now, this isn't something unique to Danik, even religions in our own world do this. But given that this is a video game, and we know the true aim of these Unitologists, it comes across as very icky. It feels very manipulative, which the Unitologists of course are. Now, are they being manipulative because they're comically evil bad guys? Well, no. Danik is drinking his own Kool-Aid here, and we see that as the speech continues. And furthermore, throughout the game, he does believe what he's saying, but that doesn't mean he's not going to immediately attempt to discredit others by addressing listeners as family, and therefore paint himself as more trustworthy. Now, am I saying that the phrase brothers and sisters is a manipulative one? Well, no. But in the context of a Unitologist saying it, well, it is pretty slimy. I almost forgot to mention that it's also a really good hook. Brothers and sisters is kind of like a call sign, a way to rally ears to listen. This religious-esque phrase immediately captures the ears of believers. There's no confusion as to where this message is coming from. Moving on, we have the Age of Man comment. But what even is the Age of Man? What does that even mean? The Age of Man, in my opinion, is humans as they are currently living, with all the problems that they are currently experiencing. It isn't just our state of existence. You know, having lungs and fingers and skin? No. It's the paying of rent, it's capitalism, it's being warm or being cold. The age of man is our entire existence, something that is coming to an end due to the uniting of all human beings into one singular being. This age has been going on ever since our conception as a species. And as we develop new ideas, this age of man develops. Everything we create is tainted by being within this age of man. Positive or negative, it doesn't matter. It all contributes to this age. An age that is inferior in comparison to what will come later. The age of unity. That's why unitology is so appealing in a way. The idea of being one is certainly a cool idea. There'll be no more war, no more pain. Only being, unlimited understanding and empathy, an existence that transcends this one. As individuals, we are prone to making positive change, but also capable of making bad changes. For every person who dreams up the electric light bulb, there's one who dreams up the atom bomb. Unitology effectively cuts out all of those bad choices, as if humans combine into one, we will all understand each other. A lot of the suffering we go through due to selfishness or money would cease to exist. Not to mention that you get to see everyone you've ever lost, ever. That's a pretty cool perk. So what has Danik done in this first line? Well, he's hooked us in, explained that the current age is coming to an end, and as he continues his speech, we are led to believe what I inferred from the text, that this age is pretty bad, and we have something better in store for us pretty soon. With that being said, let's continue. We've become too many with too little to go around. This once again speaks to one main issue in regards to the age of man, and also being mortal in general. Needs. We need water, we need food, we need warmth. Now, an official number of humans is never given in Dead Space, but we can estimate. Humans in Dead Space have colonized a ton of planets, which insinuates that Earth is pretty full. This lunar colony Isaac finds himself on is full to the brim, and these people seem pretty poor. I mean, Isaac is living in a cramped apartment with his rent way overdue. This isn't some cool planet he's on. This is just an average apartment on an average planet. The population of our current world is 8 billion, and we gain a billion-ish every 10 years. Now, our population is beginning to level out a little bit, but as humans, we bred really quickly. By the year 2500, where Dead Space is set, I can imagine a ton of humans will be born, and we'll have a ton of space to accommodate them. In my opinion, I think 30 billion is comfortable. Not to mention that Dead Space's humans seem to reproduce quicker than normal humans. I need to spoil a little bit of the game, but the marker does have a hand in the creation of humanity. It's confirmed. And for the purpose the markers made us for, it would make sense if they made these humans a little bit hornier in Dead Space. Not to mention, they make ships to crack planets open, just to keep the lights on. And if we stop for a moment, EarthGov got Isaac to build markers due to an energy crisis. With all of this taken into account, there is truly not enough to go around. By speaking to this key issue, Danik captures the hearts of people who may not be aligned with him or the church. He has picked out a very common issue, and thus people who suffer from that issue, which is everyone, are going to prick their ears up and have a listen. Corporations we've once trusted with our money have squandered it. The government that we once trusted with our future have sabotaged it. Once again, Danik is speaking to the people. I'm sure many of us can relate to the comment about corporations putting profit over the well-being of actual human beings. This is a true comment, and we need only look at the Dead Space universe to confirm it. Humans live in very poor conditions, cramped and cold, all while skyscrapers loom high above their heads. So while everyone else is rotting, these corporations and their owners live in complete ignorance to what life is like for the rest of the population. The average person's future is bleak. The people have become disillusioned, not just with corporations, but the government. People are slowly getting fed up with everything. What Danik has said here is true, but it's done in a very nefarious way. Look at these corporations that you hate. Look at this government that abandoned you. You want to fight back, right? Well, you can fight with us. You can join us. We believe in a cause that will make all the pain go away. All the negative aspects of your life will cease to be. You can live in complete peace and unity. The Unitologists are pretty shitty, but to basically everyone, they're a far better alternative than the current people in power. This is once again why Unitology is so effective, because it preys on those who are struggling. Unitology, overall, has a good message to it, but the ultimate outcome is one of immense pain and suffering. To their credit, most Unitologists pick the religion due to its positive outlook, but it's also a religion that enables some truly vile worldviews. It's a religion that freely discards human lives, one that lacks empathy. Privacy doesn't exist, and you're labeled as a heretic if you try to leave. It's focused on the marker, and once the marker begins making necromorphs, their first reaction isn't, I don't want to be a necromorph. Rather, it's, if this is what the marker wants, then so be it. The belief system strips people of their ability to reason or think logically. It doesn't ask for members, but believers. Not independent thinkers, but sheep. It preys on who it can. The government hold the markers in these facilities, and Danik wants to free them. He's indoctrinating them, gaining their trust by establishing a common enemy, and using their hatred as fuel to further his own goals. Those goals being the freeing of the markers. These goals that once revealed for what they really are, the people won't even care about it. They are so indoctrinated by unitology that they will willingly become alien food because the church said so. To their eternal credit, we are dying. Not too much to say about this part, as it serves to reinforce his previous points. We are dying. We need to join up and fight back before we miss our chance to unite. Who's killing us? Well, it's those guys. He isn't wrong, but it's kind of like lambs being attacked by wolves, and then a tiger comes to offer them shelter. The tiger, in the moment, is a good alternative, but it's still a fucking tiger. But fear not, there is a future. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once again, he's highlighting unitology as the superior option. As promised by the prophet Michael Altman, the Black Marker has a plan for all of you. This remark is another 1-2 punch, in regards to how careful Danik is here in order to manipulate people. Have you ever noticed in real life how people, when attempting to deceive someone, they mention someone else in order to give their own opinion more legitimacy? Well, that is what's being done here. It's one thing for a random guy to preach to you, but there's another layer to it, where you straight up mention the founder of the religion itself. The founder being the dude who was allegedly assassinated by the same government that the people also hate. You could argue that not many people may be aware of who Altman is, but keep in mind how large unitology is. Everyone knows unitology, and chances are, everyone knows Altman. Everyone knows how he allegedly died, and maybe what Danik is trying to do here is to make Altman not just a martyr of the unitologists, but a martyr to the people as well. He's against the government. He wanted a future. The same future I just told you was ruined by the government. The government killed him. See the connection, everyone? Maybe I'm reading too far into this, but I don't know. I'm a yapper, that's news to no one. He also name drops the Black Marker, something that is known to be alien. Now, most people wouldn't trust a random alien stone rock thing, but when you have a member of your own species translate it, it suddenly seems to be a lot more trustworthy and believable. It will lift us up from our miserable existence and we will become one, united in body and united in spirit.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Now, jokes aside, this is what I was talking about earlier. Our lives are miserable, but that will be solved if we unite. The unity thus being in direct opposition to being individuals, and being individuals leading to selfishness of our leaders, that unity would solve completely. It's also pretty clever foreshadowing. Now, I haven't got much else to say about the speech. The rest of it is just him cozying up to the audience, priming them with specific words to be fully against EarthGov, in order to create conflict that will bolster his forces. When chaos inevitably ensues, he's taking advantage of the downtrodden, so he has an easier time completing his goals. When we combine the entirety of his speech and the meaning of it, we clearly see how nefarious and overzealous Danik is, and the rest of the circle and unitology as a whole. The reason I wanted to highlight this speech in particular is because it gives a lot of depth and character to this group. A group many people write off as being generic stupid bad guys. These guys are smart, just misguided by their own belief system. It isn't stupidity, but more so ignorance. Of course there is some stupidity there, but it's the brainwashing that keeps them from realizing the truth. They are supposed to be fanatics, and this speech makes that very obvious, while still showing off their intelligence, and setting Danik up as a worthy antagonist. I do have more to say about Danik as an individual, but I'll be saving that for a little bit later. Same goes for Isaac. Continuing on, this guy blows himself the fuck up, and Isaac is sent tumbling downward. Here is the first of many shootout segments versus human enemies. I like the gameplay of these segments, but I do also like the story significance. One, it shows Isaac has grown, he's now able to take on humans because he's so adept at killing necromorphs. And two, it adds to the threat of the unitologists. it wouldn't make too much sense for them to show up with the purpose of killing Isaac and have the player never engage with them. Not to mention, I love how they sound. These small combat barks they have really add a lot to the Unitologists as a character. How they talk about having one mind and one body, stuff like that. It just adds a lot to their vibe. Isaac moves on through the city, and we come across a ton of pro-Unitologist iconography, and some graffiti that is very obviously anti-EarthGov. It really hammers home what we kind of picked up from Danik. The people are indeed fed up, he isn't lying. Now, I'm not saying that every citizen is now allied with the Unis, but nonetheless, they are still pawns. When this city's marker is freed, these citizens will no longer serve a purpose. They're just cannon fodder. We even see the Unis just kill civilians randomly. You'd think they'd feel guilt for this, right? These citizens have nothing to do with the government. As a matter of fact, a lot of them probably dislike the government. But the Unis feel no guilt. The reason being is their death prevents guilt. As they say, death is only the beginning. Death isn't permanent to them. It's just the first stage to a new life. Back to Isaac. He avoids the Unis and comes to the evacuation point, but Danik has beat him to it. Now here's a good time, I think, to hone in on what Danik means. Not the character, but the name. Now, I won't do this for every single character, this is just a fun fact, I guess. Danik is a shortened version of Daniel, and both of them have a religious context. The name translates to God is my judge. That being said, I've seen some people say it means gift of God, but the name is generally used for individuals with heavy religious conviction and a belief in divine justice. This of course fits Danik, for reasons that are pretty obvious. In this moment, Danik lets Isaac know about his plan. Said plan involving a whole lot of terrorism, and the destruction of the protective shell housing a nearby marker. Firstly, this encounter tells us that Danik isn't a raging lunatic. He's very matter-of-fact. He stands out from other Unis. They spout Unitologist drivel, and we don't think twice about what they're saying. But Danik is different. He speaks with an air of authority and intelligence, as if he's lived this day hundreds of times before, and already knows the outcome. This is partly due to that religious conviction his name suggests, but it's also a hint to his backstory. Said backstory of course being that this isn't his first necromorph outbreak that he's caused. These are the riots hinted at in one of this level's collectibles, which are pivotal to understanding this game's story. These riots aren't just hits against EarthGov, no. Danik is causing outbreaks everywhere, with no regard for human life. His motivation is of course to restore the natural order of things. But there's irony in this phrase, as what he's doing is both correct and incorrect. Incorrect as the markers are anything but natural, sent by beings beyond our understanding. But he's correct as well. This is how things are meant to go down. Humanity were made for a purpose that serves those aliens I just mentioned. We were designed to benefit them, and in this regard, Danik is not wrong. I think that's what makes Danik such an intriguing villain to me. We're so used to the lunacy of Dr. Mercer and Dana, villains who are so blatantly wrong in every single way, but Danik? For the most part, he seems to know exactly what he's doing, and when he realizes he's wrong, he admits it. Does this make him change? No, he continues. At heart, Danik is a man who deals in facts. It's just the facts he's dealing with have required him to twist his morals and understanding of his own existence in order to rationalize and accept them. He's deluded, but very intelligently deluded. It's such a strange mix of characteristics. The outbreak has begun, and we are immediately attacked by fodder. Now, I did speak about the fodder a tiny bit in the intro, but I will be expanding on them far more in the gameplay segment. We kill them, fight some slashers, and are treated to some of Dead Space 3's amazing music. I know this video is very obviously in favour of the game, and thus I'm going to gas everything up, but this game's OST is super solid, and dare I say, even more memorable when compared to Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2. I can't remember much about DS2's music, and the only memorable track from DS1 is the clashing noises that occur mid-combat. Music here is, well, music. I remember the songs here. Sometime later though, Isaac builds a train and uses it to escape the city. However, the train is quickly hijacked. This is quickly solved with some rockets, and a whole lot of muscle strength, as we clamber up to Norton's ship. Waking up, Carver is as closed off as ever, but this intensity is explained by the death of Carver's family at the hands of Danik. Now, I haven't played the co-op of this game, and this video is already going to be pretty long, so I won't be covering Carver all too much. That being said, I may make a follow-up once I have the chance.
15 seconds to target.
Standing by to D-shot.
All right, people, we're going in blind, so stay tight on that exit vector. Rosen, count it out.
Exit beacon locked. De-shocking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The hell is that?
The moon. What's left of one. Rosen!
I see it! Christ, this place is a junkyard.
More like a graveyard.
Any sign of Ellie's ship?
I'm reading several transponders, but none of them are ours. According to the registry, they're sovereign colonies' warships.
You serious? They'd be over 200 years old.
Wait, I'm getting something. It's an SOS coming from that ship dead ahead. The CMS Roanoke.
It could be Ellie.
Yeah, let's hope so. All right, Rosen, close to 500 clicks.
Aye, sir.
Those lights, they beacons?
Hang on. No. Mike!
Rosen, get us out of here!
Collision warning. Brace for impact.
I can't!
Some of that paneling and seal up that doorway.
Since when are you giving the orders?
Since somebody else has a fucking plan. Look, I'll explain as I go. Carver, where can I find an EVA suit? Carver, down that way! Jesus. Let's not do that again. Can you make it to that cargo dock?
Yeah, you think there's air on board?
Ellie's SOS is coming from somewhere inside, so let's hope so.
We establish that Ellie is at this abandoned ship, the CMS Roanoke. Knowing this, we head over with the surviving crew and begin exploring it. During this mission, the characters are able to breathe again, and the game's horror atmosphere is really able to stretch its legs. Up until this point, it's been chaos. But in this quiet ship, we can take a moment to breathe. Now, before I cover any of the bigger details, I'd like to do a little bit of preparation. in regards to the character of Norton. Up until this point, Norton has been very with Isaac. The meh-ness eventually spirals into outright jealousy and paranoia. The jealousy part being a major form of criticism against the game's plot. People say it doesn't make sense, and that it comes out of left field, but on board the Roanoke, the seeds are planted for this gradual change in Norton's character.
But I can't leave Rosen in lock.
Send me the coordinates. I'll go check it out.
Here you go. Hey, don't stray too far. That's an order. Hey, Carver, goddammit, give me a hand here!
Here! Grab some of that paneling and seal up that doorway.
Since when are you giving the orders?
Since somebody else has a fucking plan. Look, I'll explain as I go. Carver, where can I find an EVA?
Norton's control is being threatened. Control he's been losing ever so slightly since rescuing Isaac. Isaac's experience with this threat and his position as an engineer makes him an excellent leader. He's very knowledgeable, and Norton is not. Now, Norton as a person isn't toxic, but we all have an ego, and all of us have jealousy in our hearts. To some degree. We all have a darkness, but through life lessons and general experiences, we're able to keep that darkness in check. Norton, for some reason, cannot keep his darkness in check, and the beginning of that spiral is shown off with these standoffish dialogue lines. Norton's control is slipping, and he isn't rational enough to adapt and accept it. He can't accept that maybe he should take a back seat on this one, and there's no shame in doing so, but his ego gets the best of him, and he talks down to Isaac. The beginning of the end for Norton. Continuing on towards Ellie, the atmosphere is impeccable. Distant scrapings of metal, sounds of nesting necromorphs and the cracking of their 2-century-year-old flesh. The tattered and tight hallways inducing feelings of claustrophobia. It isn't quite like the metal coffin of the Ishimura or the sleek nightmare of the Sprawl, but it's still an effective setting regardless. It just feels abandoned, forgotten. Like the Ishimura, you're walking within a coffin, but you aren't just traversing a coffin, you are traversing a coffin within a whole graveyard of other coffins. Every hallway is dripping with history. Every door you open has been opened hundreds of times by hands that have long since decayed. You feel tiny in these environments. Your existence here does not matter. It's daunting. This feeling of smallness was never felt while I traversed environments of the previous games, but this feeling is prevalent here, and this feeling only grows stronger as you traverse what are now basically memories. Stories of people's lives that are long forgotten, not even knowing you would ever exist to even witness them. Soon though, we discover Ellie, and the other survivors who accompany her. Norton arrives at the same time, and they both kiss? So, as it turns out, Ellie and Norton are a thing. This serves as a potential explanation as to why Norton has been so standoffish with Isaac. He has a lady to impress. Isaac is annoyed and questions Ellie. She reveals vital details about the mission that progress the plot, like how the signals the marker produces has led them to this planet, and how important Isaac is for this mission, due to his ability to naturally read the marker's language. If Isaac can read the scribbles throughout the ship, maybe they can figure out what exactly happened here. Maybe there's a way to turn this signal off, turning off every marker ever. No markers means no more necromorphs, which of course is a good thing. The main reason of course is due to how the unitologists have a nasty habit of freeing said markers and causing said outbreaks. In the elevator, this topic is expanded upon, and greater insight into Ellie's motivations are laid bare. Both Ellie and Isaac are kind of annoyed at each other in the elevator. She wanted to help Isaac, and she was always there for him, but he pushed her away.
Isaac, I'm sorry about that. There's so much going on.
So Norton, huh? I mean, that was quick.
The world is ending, and all you can think about is us?
Damn right. I never gave up on you.
Oh no, you gave up on the world.
I paid my dues. Or don't you think I'm fucked up enough already?
Isaac, this is do or die. We're stuck without your help. Are you with me?
Doesn't look like I have a choice. Perfect. Now what?
We know Isaac wasn't doing this intentionally. He is deeply traumatized and struggles to voice how he feels. Whatever his motivation was, however, his inability to communicate has led to the breakdown of this relationship. It wasn't just that though. Ellie saw what happened on the Sprawl and couldn't let it happen again. He says he never gave up on her, but this is false. He did give up on her. Isaac is confusing love with commitment. He was in love with her, but not committed, not to trusting her or opening up to her, or even following her on her mission. These aren't bad things. Isaac isn't a bad guy for any of this, but these emotions have led to this argument progressing. Ellie points out that Isaac may not have gave up on her, but he certainly gave up on the human race as a whole. And to Ellie, she can't be with someone like that. This reveals Ellie's ultimate mission, the one I hinted at prior. Ellie wants to save humanity, a mission Isaac could not get on board with. So is it really so bad that years after they break up, she finds someone new? Someone who is honest with her? Someone who actually believes in her mission and wants to help her? Isaac retorts, talking about how he's paid his dues. He's gone through enough suffering, so why should he subject himself to even more? It's a selfish mindset to have, but can we blame him? Is it really ethical to force Isaac to suffer even more for the benefit of the entire human race? Should he be expected to suffer for our benefit? It's a complicated question, but one thing is for sure, it's do or die. There are no in-betweens. Isaac must make a decision. He claims he has no choice, but he does. He could side with Norton here, someone who wants to leave. But we know who Isaac is, who he's been. He isn't selfish. Look at what he did for Ellie in Dead Space 2.
You got life support, comms. Hey, you gotta be rescued.
You bastard.
I need you to be rescued. I couldn't save Nicole, but I can save you, Ellie. So, bye.
Maybe he was selfish for deciding her fate for her, but it came from a place of selflessness. He accepts his death at the end of DS2. He tries to save several people in that game. Isaac isn't selfish, but years of self-neglect and trauma have made him more selfish. But maybe through Ellie, he can become more selfless again. Maybe he can rediscover some of that hope that he had at the end of DS2 and find the strength to make a decision that lines up with who we know Isaac to be. But at this moment in time, Isaac and Norton are very similar in regards to their character. This divergence in their character arcs begin just after this conversation, when Isaac figures that the machine, referred to on this wall here, is planet-side and it controls the markers.
Ellie, Carver, we've reached the Admiral's quarters. Isaac's...
Turn it off.
Hey, Isaac!
Turn
Isaac?
off.
Carver, what's going on?
Turn it off.
Isaac! Hey!
Turn it off.
Hey!
What is it? What's going on?
Nothing. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Ellie, the Admiral was obsessed with making a key.
A key to what?
Hey! A key to what?
Some sort of alien device. A machine. I think that she believed that it controlled the markers.
Oh my god.
She wanted to turn it off. She wrote that over and over again like a mantra.
Or instructions. This is exactly what we've been looking for. This isn't just some random planet, Isaac. They found the source. The marker homeworld.
You have got to be shitting me.
Marker homeworld.
Alright, let's regroup in the control room. We can plan our next move from there.
Clark, shake it off. Let's go. Clark!
Ellie comes to the conclusion that they must go planet-side and turn this machine off. When Ellie makes this the mission, you can hear the exact moment Isaac begins to change his mind.
Ellie, the Admiral was obsessed with making a key.
A key to what?
Hey! A key to what?
Some sort of alien device. A machine. I think that she believed that it controlled the markers.
Oh my god.
She wanted to turn it off. She wrote that over and over again like a mantra.
Or instructions. This is exactly what we've been looking for. This isn't just some random planet, Isaac. They found the source. The marker homeworld.
You have got to be shitting me.
Marker homeworld.
Alright, let's regroup in the control room. We can plan our next move from there.
Clark, shake it off. Let's go. Clark!
This is the moment that Dead Space 2 Isaac re-emerges. This one phrase carries with it so much strength and hope. There is finally meaning to Isaac's suffering, a way to make everything count. He can stop future people from suffering what he suffered, and we see the beginning of his character arc start right here. An arc that carries on through the entire game, and directly parallels Norton's arc as well. Carrying on though, we come to this projector room. This room is one of the most important rooms in the entire game. And why is that, I hear you say? Well, here's why. The projector room has a projector in it.
Graves asked me to prepare this information for you. When the black marker was exhumed on the Earth in 2214, it defied our understanding of science. It appeared to generate limitless energy, a trait of obvious importance in our resource-strapped times. There was an effort to replicate the marker, hoping to understand its technology, thereby acquiring limitless energy for ourselves. Imagine our surprise when we learned they are not sources of energy, but receivers of it. Via carrier wave from somewhere deep in space. Triangulating this marker signal revealed a previously undetected planet, now known as Tau Volantis. We hope to find the source of this signal and finally harness the energy for ourselves. And if this works, it could mean a better future for all of us. General, thank you for your time. Good afternoon, General.
We find out that the markers do not create the energy they produce. They are merely receivers of it. Think of a marker like an amplifier. The source of the energy is spreading the signal to these markers, where the marker can then spread that signal wherever it may be. It allows whatever is on Tau Volantis to spread itself to these markers. Now in this case, it's electricity. But we forget that the marker can speak to people. It can make them see things. We know this because Nicole and Dr. Kine's wife, Amelia, are both dead. Yet they tell each character the exact same things. Now, is this the marker's dementia that's making them crazy? Well, if that was the case, they'd just be crazy, wouldn't they? But no. Both of them are told a specific goal. A goal that the marker has in mind. The marker is sentient. And even then, the marker has a plan for Isaac. It wants to be on the pedestal in Dead Space 1 to infect his mind with the marker codes. And being on that pedestal would mean that the hive mind would not attack him. The marker has done this specifically to spread its signal and its self everywhere. That sounds pretty sentient to me. This idea of the marker being sentient is further amplified by Dead Space 2. She wants Isaac dead the entire game. We could read this as Isaac's guilt, thinking he deserves to die. But it's revealed at the end that no, the makers must be consumed for convergence to begin. The idea of killing Isaac is a purposeful one. They need him dead. And then, when she can't kill him, she turns nice. She lures him in and tries to kill Isaac herself. When one plan fails, when Isaac accepts his guilt and takes responsibility, she can't use his guilt against him anymore. The plan changes. Again, sentient. However, I'm being contradictory here, aren't I? The game has just established that the markers are amplifiers, or receivers. They're just rocks, and the signal is coming from this planet. So if the marker is sentient, but not sentient, who's making these plans? Who's influencing these people? Who the hell was Nicole in Dead Space 2 if not the marker signal in his head? What's going on here?
Isaac, Norton here.
Why are you contacting me on a private channel?
Because I need to know if you're on my side.
We're taking sides now?
I know you two had a thing, but she's mine now, and I love her too much to let her do this.
If she's right and this is the marker homeworld, maybe there's a chance of stopping this.
Look, we both know how this is going to end. If they found a way to stop the markers 200 years ago, don't you think we'd all be safe by now? It doesn't add up.
Oh, I get it. I get it. You think you and her... Yeah, we'll forget it. She's over it, all right?
It's time to develop Norton a bit more. Yeah, Norton begins to act like a child, but it makes sense given what we know about him. He's losing his grip on the situation and comes to Isaac for support. They both want the same thing, to leave. But Isaac is beginning to change his mind. Norton hasn't gone through what Isaac has, though. He hasn't suffered like Isaac has. He hasn't got the same perspective, and thus the idea of stopping all markers doesn't really sound so satisfying to him. Norton goes on a rant about how Ellie belongs to him, which just comes across as super creepy and controlling. Norton is obviously a huge control freak. He's a little bit crazy, and as his grip on things begins to slip, so does the mask of civility he wears. He pretends that he's sane, but he's always been a little bit crazy. And being here is only making him worse. Now that's about it for 2 chapters. Not much else happens really. The story begins to pick up a little bit when we find Edwards. Edwards being a survivor from 200 years ago?
I'm sorry, Tucker. But you heard Mahad's announcement. We're facing a Scenario 5 situation.
Scenario 5? What the hell does that even mean?
It means you have to die. We all do. If we don't, he'll just send someone over to do it for us.
Come on, Valerie. Just put that down.
I'm sorry.
They don't have to know.
I'm so sorry.
Not as sorry as I am, Commander. And if any one of them jacked up jarheads tries to come for me, they'll be sorry too.
I see you. Guess you were smart enough to make it past my lockout. So you must not be one of those no-neck dipshits from the General's goon squad. But before you go patting yourself on the back, you should know that was the easy part. Your day is about to get a whole lot worse.
The outcome of this mission is pretty predictable, but that doesn't make it any less interesting. It gives us a lot of insight into what Scenario 5 was, the thing that caused everyone on these ships to die. Well, that is what Scenario 5 is. It's a way of containing and covering up an outbreak. Everyone's gotta die. If no one lives, then this never gets out. It's basically extreme quarantine. Now Edward, understandably, didn't want this, and he hid out, waiting for soldiers to come and kill him themselves. They never come though, and now Edward is left alone. He killed people to prevent them from killing him, and he hid for months, maybe even years, but they never came. The crazy part is he wants them to kill him. He's broken by everything that's happened, hoping that his death can have meaning to those who come hunting for him. He wants to go out with a bang, but that day never comes, so he takes matters into his own hands and kills himself.
Congratulations. You found me. Kinda stupid, ain't it? I just wanted to live, and now that I'm the only one left, I couldn't give a shit. With all this time alone, I realize it's just like Sam said. I'm a lazy prick who never took one for the team. Well, team, if you can hear me now, this one's for you.
It's tragic. He was an asshole to his entire crew. He never really connected with them. He even killed a few of them to survive, but now he's alone. He's been forgotten. He didn't mean anything to anyone. He was selfish and died alone. No big purpose, just nothing. One of the survivors you met with Ellie, Buck, talks to Isaac about this.
Yep, that did the trick. Gravity is reading normal again.
What do you think is worse, Buckle? Dying along with everyone else, or being the only one who survives?
It's not the dying that scares me. It's not making a difference before I do. You should be able to make it to the top of the conning tower now, Isaac.
This quote gives context to Edward. He made no difference, like I said, but Edward is also a very interesting mirror to Isaac. Isaac is Edward. Now, I don't mean that literally, but it's a path that Isaac was on before Norton and Carver pulled him out of it. Isaac's fate would have been death by unitologist, growing old without ever coming to terms with his trauma, or killing himself. Regardless of the outcome, he will be alone and he will be forgotten. This is Isaac, dead. Now luckily, Isaac has a cause to fight for now. Not just for Ellie, but the entirety of mankind. For all the people he's lost along the way. Isaac is on a character arc where he comes to terms with everything that's happened to him and others. And by the end of his journey, unlike Edward's, he will have made a difference. Just like Buck says, it's not dying that should scare Isaac. It's not making a difference before he does. Everyone dies. We have to choose what we die for. Now, for what Isaac has gone through, blowing up one marker isn't going to cut it. He has a chance now to save everyone, all of humanity, and make what he went through meaningful. He has to give purpose to everyone who's been slaughtered by the markers. This is the difference that Isaac is going to make.
Well, I'm glad to see you too. What's that look for? This is going to work, right?
Our window's coming up. We go now or not at all.
Needle jump.
Ellie! Ellie!
This planet is so fucking beautiful, man. Like, goddamn. The snow, the sun reflecting off of it, hues of red and yellow, the lens flare, vast open areas that really put into perspective how fucking huge this place is. I've got to say, Dead Space 3 is the best looking Dead Space game. I've already gushed about how the interiors of the ship are gorgeous, but god, Tau Volantis is on a whole different planet, pun intended. And the best part is, that feeling of isolation is still somewhat present due to the planet's low visibility, and ambushes that occur frequently. Open areas like these are new for Dead Space. In prior games, we knew the term claustrophobia like the back of our hands. We had spent so long within tight, cramped hallways. We had actually began to find a sense of comfort within them. Things had gotten predictable. This is where Dead Space 3 shakes things up. Wide open areas don't occur all the time in Dead Space 3, but when they do, I find them to be extremely unsettling. In a hallway, you only need to be concerned with two directions, but in the open like this, you feel exposed, like anything could just pop out at any time and attack you. Dead Space 3 gives you more room to work with in these sections, yet ironically, that only adds more danger to the situation. The thick blizzards coating the planet only add to the pressure you feel. That pressure being relieved when a predator finally emerges to attack you. Notice how I said predator, because yes, Isaac is prey. You could argue he's always been prey, but let's be real here. Are we really scared of necromorphs anymore? No. You're a slayer, the top of the food chain. But on Tau Volantis, that's all been changed. You've been knocked down, back to where you were in Dead Space 1. You're out of your element, confused and isolated. Nothing emphasizes this point more than the snow beast. Evolved to hunt in this Arctic environment, its very body suited solely to tormenting and consuming you. As we trudge through snow and what's left of what civilization once existed here, we catch glimpses of this thing. People say Dead Space 3 isn't scary, and maybe they're right, but in these moments, I feel dread. As we explore the planet, we take a detour in order to find a suit that suits us better. The current one we have is broken from the crash. In doing so, we come across Buck. He's barely alive and shortly dies after we meet him. We also catch another glimpse of that snow beast. Before Buck does die, he tells us where we can find a new suit. We take an elevator down into a deeper part of this facility, and what we come across is horrifying. These things, they aren't quite necromorphs, at least not in the sense we traditionally know them as. No, these are feeders, a result of what happens when a person consumes necromorph flesh. But wait a second. Why would the Scaff soldiers eat necromorph flesh? And by Scaff, I mean the Sovereign Colony soldiers. How are these feeders even still alive? Well, that's easy to explain. Necromorphs can last a really long time, and these guys are necromorph enough to count. They seem to have been mutated by the flesh they consumed. They're like a weird necromorph-human hybrid, but that hasn't answered my other question. Why would they even eat the flesh? There are many factors as to why the Scaff were ultimately outmatched on Tau Volantis. Whether that be the Admiral going crazy, leaving Mahad in charge, a man who had no belief in the mission in the first place, or maybe it's due to how most of the personnel didn't even know what they were looking for, just digging stuff up without realizing the true danger they were in. These are all valid reasons, but the number one reason why any community fails is due to food. Food is super important. It keeps us energetic and keeps us sane. So what happens when you're far from home on an alien planet with an empty stomach? Well, you go a little bit crazy, unstable, and easy to manipulate. This happened to the Scaff and is one of the primary reasons why they lost control of the situation. So how did this happen? Well, they're on a planet littered in markers. So when you hear about some guy chopping people's heads off in their sleep, it's to be expected. But what the marker did to the Scaff's food supply is truly horrifying. First off, we must begin with the CMS Franklin and its crew. Now, the Franklin wasn't a ship like the ones we see above the planet. It was much more like the ship Isaac flies in on, a supply ship. By reading one of the in-game logs, it's revealed that when going back and forth, the crew were surviving on very little sleep. The pilot of the ship, being a chill guy, would let his crew nap. This is of course a good thing, making sure they were getting enough sleep to not go crazy. But while he was watching their backs, who was watching out for his? No one. In this log, he talks about how sometimes, very faintly, he can hear his wife over the radio, but she's been dead for 2 years. Now by itself, this doesn't mean much. The marker makes people go crazy. What a surprise. But soon after this, the Franklin would crash. This was explained as being due to high winds, which may be true, but the Franklin is described as being especially resilient. This is just a theory on my part, but is it more likely that the ship lost control and crashed? Or more likely, the pilot went crazy and lost concentration? Regardless, the ship crashes, and the soldiers are left without food. Luckily though, they had a lot of spare food. It was all located in the storage depot. A man named Lumley was in charge of it and wasn't going to let it spoil. That was, until the Franklin's crew arrived, unscathed from the crash. The Franklin had crashed 2 days prior, and its crew just found themselves at the doorstep of the supply depot? This makes no sense. Either way though, they were alive, and Lumley let them in. A day later, Lumley goes crazy himself. What happened to the crew? Did they go crazy and infect Lumley somehow? Did their mere presence inspire madness? Were they fodder necromorphs, wreaking havoc once they were allowed inside, using their thinly veiled disguise to gain access? It's uncertain, but Lumley's madness is, and what he did next could have only been orchestrated by the markers. He spoils every last scrap of food within the depot. This single act caused the surrounding outposts to go hungry, and what do hungry people do? They eat what they can. In my opinion, this was all coordinated. The markers, or whatever controlled the markers, hit the Scaff where it hurt, and in doing so, forced them into cannibalism and the consumption of necromorph flesh. The markers didn't even need to use other necromorphs to force a defeat, but rather, they wrapped their metaphorical hands around the throats of the scaff and squeezed. The result? Less men, more instability, and feeders everywhere. A creature that shares everything in common with what we know in the real world as the Wendigo. Besides its name, of course. People twisted mentally and physically by their intense hunger, doomed to an existence where they can never satisfy their need for fresh meat.
Personal log, Sam Ackerman. 3 days I've been quiet, hiding in the dark. I have to get to the radio, call for help. I think there may be a way around them. By throwing small objects, I can trick them into investigating the noise.
Ackerman! Is that you?
Oh God.
I smell you! I smell... bread bait!
Moving on, we come across this gorgeous sight, and then meet up with Carver. Carver lets us know that everyone else is inside. But before we can get in, we are attacked again by the snow beast.
Ellie, it's so good to hear your voice.
How did you make it? The ship. We thought you were dead.
I followed a trail of flares. Are you guys all right? I saw Carver.
Yeah, we're fine. Carver's close. We can hear him. Look, Isaac, please hurry up and get here. We're in Central Command.
I'll be there as fast as I can.
I love the Snow Beast. The Snow Beast comes to us several times throughout the game in the form of a boss fight. Now, I'll be coming back to him in the gameplay segment, but I adore the implication that this guy was around as far back as 200 years ago, when the Scaff was still around. You can find a log or two mentioning him, and the Scaff's efforts to kill it. I find the idea of a creature like this to be so fascinating, as he isn't like any other necromorph we meet throughout the game. The others charge ahead, employing a degree of strategy in some cases. But here, the Snow Beast is a whole different, well, beast. He dodges, he pounces, he ambushes you, relying on the element of surprise to deal with his prey. He also really reminds me of that one scene from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the way Leatherface just emerges from the darkness. Kind of like how the Snow Beast does sometimes. It just fits his overall vibe. Another thing I like about the Snow Beast is its arrival to Isaac. Much like Miss Drex of RE2, something you see and love to hate, especially when Isaac begins to sling personal insults towards it. The fact it escapes after every encounter is also quite interesting. You get this sense of intelligence from the Snow Beast. It doesn't just blindly rage against Isaac. It knows when it's beat, and instead of pressing on to its own death, it runs away to lick its wounds. Isaac only really kills it when he manages to catch it by surprise. The name of the game is Hit and Run, and this beast is a pro. One of these times it will catch Isaac when he least expects it, but if it doesn't, the beast doesn't mind. There's always a next time. There's always another ambush. Isaac meets back up with the crew, and Ellie is getting very intimate with him, and Norton doesn't like that.
About time. Isaac.
Isaac, you made it.
Thank God.
I knew you'd catch up.
Good to see you made it, Isaac. You know, maybe we should give you two some time alone, huh?
What the hell does that mean?
It means for someone who's in the past, you're awfully glad to see him.
We need him. This mission needs
Come on,
him.
we need him or you need him?
Hey, you got something to say to me, Captain?
Stop. Just stop. We need to shut down that damn machine, and we don't even know where it is yet.
I do. I mean, I think I know how to find it. Well, I've been digging through what's left of the research notes, and...
I thought all that stuff was destroyed.
Well, computer data, yes. But the written logs discuss a signal tracking experiment that pinpointed the machine's exact location. Well, I think if we repeat it, we can do the same. But it's at the other end of the complex.
Yeah, fine. Fine, let's have a look. I could use a change of scenery.
He's a real asshole. You know that?
Now, it is worth noting here that Norton was fully expecting Isaac to have died in the crash. We see that here when he encourages Ellie to not leave flares behind. Flares that would help Isaac navigate the planet.
Isaac, if you find this... God, Ellie, come on! We're freezing to death out here! I'm coming! We're on our way to find some shelter. But I'm gonna leave you this trail of flares.
The man's dead, Ellie. Let's go.
Isaac, please, be alive.
Come on.
People often read this scene as Norton being jealous of Isaac, which he definitely is. But it's also the anger of this guy hijacked my crew, which shatters my ego, and he has a good relationship with my girlfriend, and he's somehow survived a whole ass crash? Norton is pissed that Isaac survived. About Ellie though, Isaac is the core of the mission. Each member is effectively a tool, and Isaac is the most important tool. A part of Ellie's motivation for even loving Norton was the fact that he was willing to help her. The mission is what drives Ellie's character. It's why she left Isaac, it's why she likes Norton, and it's why she's so happy to see Isaac alive, as without him, the mission would be dead. Her reaction to Isaac makes sense, even though, I'll admit, it is a bit too intimate. Norton doesn't see any of this though. All he sees is the intimacy, and he goes off the rails, insinuating they should have alone time together, and throwing all these wild accusations at Ellie. Isaac obviously jumps in, recognizing things are spiraling. Norton is being so cruel to Ellie, so obviously he steps in to defend her. After this, Ellie herself stops this immediately. So what's going on? Why is Norton being so hostile? I have a few ideas. One, Norton is a legitimate abuser and manipulates Ellie. It's obvious throughout the game, at least when we see Norton, that he only cares for himself and treats Ellie like a commodity. If he truly loved her, he'd respect her wishes. He'd grow with her and support her, but near enough every word Norton says is hostile or sexist, or outright plotting against her. This doesn't feel very loving at all. My second idea, as to why Norton is like this, is the markers have made him go a bit crazy. Norton likely wasn't always like this, but the markers are making him paranoid. The marker tends to bring out the worst in people. Ellie herself says that Norton isn't usually like this, but maybe deep down, Norton has always had these toxic attributes, but like any civil person, he keeps them hidden. The marker is just revealing what is already there. We've also pointed out with the supply depot that the markers specifically choose to manipulate certain people to get its way. Norton is by far the most vulnerable person of the crew, and thus uses him in order to drive a wedge in the group, and maybe even kill Isaac. I believe the truth is a combination of these two factors. Instead of being an outright abuser, Norton is just a nice guy who flips on a dime the second he can't get his way. This toxicity is usually hidden well, kept under lock and key, but due to the marker's influence, it's all spilling out. This also makes him a prime target of the marker's manipulation, which leads to a whole lot of problems down the line. It's tough to know if Norton was always a bad guy, or is just being made worse by the marker, or his true toxic self is only being revealed here by the marker. Either way though, this is in stark contrast to Isaac. Now the two of them do start the story in the same boat, but it's by this point that they fully begin to clash. Norton is purposely written to be a mirror to Isaac in my opinion. Norton is essentially a shadow version of Isaac. A version of Isaac that would have come about if he surrendered to his negativity and continued down the path he was on. Norton is known for his selfishness, a key aspect of Isaac's character earlier in the story, but his past experiences and the mission gave him purpose. Isaac's experiences have made him a deeply empathetic person. His pain has given him a deeper understanding of what's at stake. He knows what it's like to lose people. Norton never went through what Isaac went through. He can't empathize the same way. He doesn't see Ellie as this beacon of hope, a light in the darkness. He can't see Ellie this way. Norton sees her as an object that he can keep. Ellie to him is no more a person than the picture of her he keeps in his pocket. If Isaac were a worse person, if he didn't have Ellie as his beacon of hope, maybe Isaac would have fully adopted Norton's twisted view of things. The markers? Not his problem. He's paid his dues.
All you can think about is us?
Damn right. I never gave up on you.
Oh no, you gave up on the world.
I paid my dues. Or don't you think I'm fucked up enough already?
Norton is a mirror to Isaac, but Isaac has his experiences and he has Ellie. That's what separates the two of them. Hope. Hope that things can change, things can improve. Isaac partly lost his hope, and Dead Space 3 as a whole is all about rediscovering that hope. Norton has no hope, he has no perspective. He's the ugly version of Isaac, the ugly version of us all. Pessimistic and toxic. The version who refuses to grow, refuses to change, stuck in our old bad ways. After this encounter with Norton, things go from worse to even worse. The Unitologists have somehow found Isaac and his crew. They're pretty smart and they try to kill Isaac instantly, but being as lucky as ever, he survives. We go through another shootout segment, with Isaac questioning how they even found us. I'll give a slight spoiler for the next chapter, but the reason the Unis found the crew is due to Norton. There is one pretty significant piece of evidence for this that proves he's a rat. And that thing is that you can literally see Norton calling Danik. It's implied that he contacted him once they hit planetside, likely while they were waiting for Isaac. This makes sense as to why Norton is so pissed to see Isaac alive, but his mind is now probably racing as to how he's going to explain this to Danik. He likely said to Danik that Isaac was dead or lost in the snow, but here he is, clear as day. Norton is probably quite stressed from this, and takes it out on Isaac, but this is purely speculation. This video call is likely him trying to explain to Danik what happened, and how Isaac is alive, as well as planning how they're going to incapacitate him later. This is likely why he traps Isaac in the cage. This isn't Norton being petty, this is Norton trapping Isaac to buy time. He knows Isaac has telekinesis, so why would he do this stupid trap that wouldn't work? Unless he was expecting Isaac to escape and was doing this just to buy time, which makes the most sense. But that still doesn't answer the question as to why Norton even contacted the Unis. If he had the expectation that Isaac was dead, why contact them? Well, Norton doesn't like the mission, and he likely thought that the mission had died with Isaac. So he's doing a trade deal with the Unis here. He's going to give them the location of the marker homeworld, while ensuring that everyone gets home safe. Besides maybe Carver, who will fight back. This adds another layer as to why he's so annoyed here, because not only does he have to explain this to Danik, but now the Unis have a reason to open fire and risk his and Ellie's lives. His entire plan has fallen apart here, and this is why he's so angry. That and his jealousy, like I said. We continue on, and Ellie mentions Norton not being himself.
Oh yeah, between this planet trying to kill us, your boyfriend hating me, this has been a wonderful trip so far.
Not usually like this. I don't know why.
Just let us fight it out, okay? One of us will win eventually. Did you find...
We also get ambushed by the snow beast again, and we dumpster dive into a billion-year alien corpse. When we emerge, we get to that scene where Norton doesn't want to let us out.
Norton, open the cage.
No.
What?
If you want to die here, now's your chance. I'm taking control of this mission again.
Hey, where you going?
Saving Ellie. Norton! Norton! Norton!
Ellie, can you hear me? Damn it, he jammed my signal.
The line about him taking control of the mission again also reinforces what I said about his ego. He has an ego on him, and Isaac has been in control of this mission for too long. This master plan of Norton's doesn't work out, however, because Danik reveals he's going to kill everyone.
You wouldn't believe the trouble you've saved me.
Nice work. What?
Well, here he is. The marker killer, Isaac Clarke. And here we are. The marker homeworld. You know, I must admit, I almost didn't believe such a place existed. But thanks to your friend, Norton, I finally found it.
That's how they followed us through shock space.
Well, he is a bright one.
All he wants is Isaac. Carver, the rest of us can go home.
Deluded son of a bitch. Hey! You've got me. Let the others go.
It's a very difficult thing, you know, undoing the damage man has done. Everything we touch, we contaminate, we corrupt. The markers had a plan for us, but we took what should have been a magnificent gift and perverted it.
Jesus, spare us the bullshit.
I've spent an entire lifetime trying to undo the damage man has done.
fighting EarthGov's ongoing research, liberating the markers from those profane testing facilities. And now, I just have one problem left to purge. All of you.
No, you promised me a ship, Danik. We had a deal.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. But I can't afford to leave even one of you left alive. Apologies for misleading you, Captain.
During this scene, we see a big leap in Isaac's character, as well as Norton's. I've mentioned before how the two are reflections of each other, and that mirroring is done right here again. Norton is trading Isaac in for the group's lives as a whole. Honestly, I could see the Isaac at the beginning of the story doing this. He only cares about Ellie and no one else, but Isaac is rediscovering himself, and the hope he thought he lost. He's becoming more selfless. Isaac is totally willing to die here to save everyone, all the people he's grown attached to. Norton and Isaac are saying the same thing. It's just one opinion is born from a good man turned selfish asshole, and the other is from a guy who gave up on everything, but recognizes there's a way to make it all count, and is actively changing for the better. Their characters started off in two different places, but their arcs have inverted them, and I think that's really cool. It feels realistic. The characters here aren't good or evil, just different shades of grey. Even the unis, though they are certainly, well, evil grey. Anyway, Danik talks more to Isaac about how man corrupts everything it touches. Like previously discussed, this isn't just about religious bullshit, but is most likely referring to that Age of Man concept. Man was designed by the marker, but we've been doing side quests this entire time, instead of working towards unity. I also really like here how Isaac tries to save Norton. Norton, this creepy dickhead. I feel that speaks a lot to Isaac's character. At the start, he could not give less of a damn about anyone, but now he's actively out here saving people. People who have actively tried to kill him and will try to kill him after this.
No, you promised me a ship, Danik. We had a deal.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. But I can't afford to leave even one of you left alive. Apologies for misleading you, Captain.
Shortly after this encounter with Danik, the thing that we were inside just moments ago wakes up, and it's very angry with us. It tries to kill Isaac, but we quickly dispatch it. However, Norton is a slimeball, as always, and he wastes no time in trying to kill Isaac.
You made us come down here. You encouraged her. Now look where we are. Between Danik shooting at us and whatever the fuck that was, what chance have we got?
You betrayed us!
I tried to save us. You are the real problem here, Clark, but not anymore.
Captain!
This is the culmination of Norton's character arc. Complete madness. The marker's manipulation of him, as well as his own faults, have led to this complete breakdown. He blames Isaac for everything. This is once again a display of Norton dehumanizing Ellie. To Norton, she's not an individual. Someone else must have put these ideas in her head, and that someone must be Isaac. Norton can't fathom for a moment that Ellie has her own set of beliefs. All the things that Norton says about Isaac are wrong, and purposely so. Norton was the one to call Danik's men. Ellie was the one who wanted to come down to the planet, and that creature wouldn't have been an issue if they weren't halted by Danik's men. Men that Norton called. Norton is a narcissist all around, and this is spelled out pretty clearly for the player. He's so well written that fans just outright hate him, which is a good thing, because he's written to be unlikable. He's written to be a dark reflection of Isaac, a source of drama and a subtle display of the marker's effect on people. He serves all of his purposes in the story extremely well. His pessimism fully comes out here, outright declaring they have no shot. This is the complete opposite of Isaac. At this point, Isaac is a manifestation of humanity's hope. Norton is a manifestation of its willingness to give up, or settle for easy solutions that don't fix anything. The game is even framed to reflect this. No other characters are in shot. It's just Norton, his breakdown, his pessimism, and we the players are witnessing firsthand as he rambles to us. He isn't really Norton anymore, but just a culmination of every negative aspect of humanity. It's being displayed to us. Not shown, but displayed. He's front and center. Norton's final quote is one of my favorites, as it reinforces my idea that Norton is a mirror to Isaac. Norton isn't just a manifestation of humanity's pessimism, and how hope has been drained from all of them, making them vulnerable to outside forces. But he's also regurgitating things Isaac would have told himself. But Isaac isn't telling himself these things anymore. He's grown, he's found hope. A hope to make everything count. Just stop these creatures once and for all. The one person who gives him all of his hope in the world is closer than ever. He has a reason to fight. He has purpose. A purpose that benefits himself and everyone he's ever lost, and could lose. Isaac rejects Norton, Norton being a past version of Isaac. Where Isaac has grown, Norton has regressed. Their character arcs have gone in two separate directions. And now, like I said, Norton is a mirror to Isaac. And Isaac is looking into that mirror, this person he used to be, this self-hating person, who offered nothing to himself but negativity. Isaac, in rejecting Norton, pushes away from his toxic self. He says no to his past self, and promptly shoots it in the head.
She doesn't love you.
Oh, fuck.
Come on. He won't stay dead forever, not around here.
I'm not gonna tell Ellie.
Hey, you tell her the truth. Now let's go.
Carver comments on how Norton won't stay dead forever, not around here. But if Norton is a mirror to Isaac's past, and how he used to view himself in these toxic ways, then Carver is right in another way. Self-hatred and guilt won't stay away forever. Sometimes it does come back, and all we can do is push forward. If we let guilt consume us, if we blame ourselves unnecessarily, the demons we thought we killed will come back. We can't dwindle on the things we did, or the things we think we have done or should have done. We need to keep moving. Now, of course, these are just metaphors, and Norton is a real guy that Isaac has just killed, so therefore he must explain this to Ellie. He does a strange job of it. He comes clean in every way possible, besides one way. He doesn't mention Norton's betrayal until Carver does.
Isaac. Where's Robert? Is he...
I shot him, Ellie.
What?
I'm sorry. I had no choice.
Norton betrayed us, Ellie. He was ready to kill us. Isaac did what he had to do to save the mission. Come on. We gotta keep moving.
Now there are only 4 of us left. I can't do this.
Then we leave you behind. If you can't keep your head, you're a danger to everybody.
You're horrible.
Nobody's leaving anybody. Now come on. Let's get to the top of this mountain. Together. Together.
Just looking at Ellie's face, you can see confusion, with a hint of rage. To her, this is a pathetic squabble gone wrong. Isaac hasn't changed. He's still uncaring. He killed Norton because Norton was in his way, because Isaac was jealous. But when Carver does mention Norton's betrayal, she meets his eyes in a state of disbelief. Norton betrayed her? Betrayed the group? Norton, the man who helped her when Isaac refused to? The man she fell in love with? The man who was everything Isaac could have been, but wasn't. Carver continues, and when he mentions the mission, Ellie breaks down, shaking her head, completely speechless. The beginning of Ellie's breakdown is overshadowed by Santos, who I can't really dig into that much. The point I'm making here, though, is the sadness of Santos hides Ellie's true feelings. Feelings you're already aware of, based solely on her facial expressions. She's realised that Norton became what Isaac used to be. She's essentially lost Isaac twice here, losing him in the past and losing the person she replaced him with. Isaac takes charge here, rallying the group, emboldening them as they continue their mission.
Nobody's leaving anybody. Now come on. Let's get to the top of this mountain. Together. Together.
gonna start an avalanche if we all try to climb this.
What do we do?
I'll climb up first and have a look around. Maybe there's a safer route.
The music here is so tragic, representing Ellie's mental decline and confusion. How could this happen again? What's even going on? Does anyone believe in her? Does her life goal mean anything to anyone? Does her mission matter? She goes on this rant to Isaac, saying he never believed in her, saying the mission meant nothing to Isaac at all. But she is projecting here. She's talking about a past version of Isaac. It's why she left him. But Isaac has changed. So who is she talking about? It's in my opinion that she's talking about Norton. He betrayed her. He tried to destroy her entire mission. He sabotaged it. Like she says. She's talking to Isaac here because she's simultaneously upset with him and Norton. But her true feelings, I believe, are directed at Norton. She's projecting her devastation over Norton onto Isaac. On top of that, she's also blaming herself.
Ellie, come on. Norton was pointing a gun at my face. I'm sorry.
Is that supposed to make it okay? You never believed in me, or this mission, or us. I had to go find someone else to help me, and now he's dead. You sabotaged it, just like everything else.
What's that supposed to mean? Is that what you really think?
Yes, they brought you here at gunpoint. I guess that's what it took.
I'm not here because someone put a gun to my head.
Yeah, well, Norton's dead because someone put one to his.
She mentions how they dragged Isaac here at gunpoint, but is she really referring to Isaac? Or is she referring to Norton? Norton didn't want to come down to the planet. He refused, but he came down regardless, because of Ellie. Maybe Ellie feels as if she forced Norton on this mission, and now he's dead. She put a metaphorical gun to his head, and now he's gone. Guilt is a common theme in the Dead Space series, and we see it play out here again with Ellie. Is this guilt warranted? I don't think so, but Ellie's mission is to prevent more death. And here she is, thinking she's causing more of it. Feeling guilt and being pessimistic is innate to the human experience, but it's not something to embrace. It's something to recognize and overcome. But even if we know that, it can still plague us. I believe that's partly what Dead Space 3 is about, overcoming our innate pessimism and guilt, and using our pain to do something better, to achieve something more. I want to add here too, that Isaac doesn't shout to Ellie here, like he has previously. Instead he listens, he reasons with her. He's a far cry from who he was in the beginning. He understands Ellie, and the importance of the mission. He doesn't butt heads, but instead, he questions her. He makes her reflect. Ellie does eventually get to a point where she can speak with a clearer mind, questioning Isaac and realizing that he's ultimately right.
Isaac, we're okay. We drove it off.
Oh, thank God.
Look, about Robert, I just don't understand why he would try to kill you.
He blamed me for all the trouble we're in. He kept pushing to go home. I kept pushing to stay.
Right, but the mission is all that matters. But I thought Robert understood that.
Oh, I'm here for you. I mean that.
He says he's here for her, which does come across as Isaac slipping into Ellie's metaphorical DMs. But this is after her commenting on the mission. This isn't Isaac saying he's here just for Ellie, he's saying he's here for her and her mission. He's on board. This is why we see them slip back into love so soon. Ellie is so driven in this game, driven by her love for Isaac and her mission, so much that she needed Norton to replace Isaac. She wanted Isaac back. Now, does this make her a bad person? I don't think so. She thought she loved him a lot, but that doesn't mean she didn't love him or didn't care about him any less. She just didn't love him for him. She loved him for being like Isaac. I feel as if it was seemingly Norton's belief in Ellie that made her love him. It was a void left by Isaac. When Isaac slipped into all those negative emotions, refusing to open up. Here, Isaac tells her point blank that he will not abandon the mission, something that Ellie has always longed to hear from Isaac in particular. He's becoming more like himself again. This is what Ellie has always wanted from Isaac. Isaac is a changed man, not just in his goals, but his personality too. We see that as the player, and Ellie sees that as well. This is why Ellie finds new motivation to continue her mission. The person she loves is now back on board completely. Ellie has always been a source of hope for Isaac, but through that hope, Isaac himself has improved, to the point where he's now a source of hope, not just for the group, but for Ellie too. They're both sources of hope to each other, and mutually, they've grown the motivation to continue the mission. However, tragedy strikes, and Santos is killed by the snow beast. Isaac is only human, and his first thought isn't to blame the snow beast, but rather to blame himself. There isn't much Isaac could have done here, but he begins to spiral regardless. It's so easy to lose yourself. It's so easy to give in and punish yourself. It can be so easy to lose yourself as a person when confronted with intense circumstances. Even when we think we've overcome our problems, one bad day can just reset them. And this is that bad day for Isaac. This one event. This entire time, he's been ascending, quite literally. He's been full of hope, full of purpose. But now he's been knocked down into a pit, back where he started. Hopeless and lost, in a storm both on the planet and in his own head. Isaac is ashamed, but Ellie remains his beacon of hope. He kills the snow beast, the thing that killed Santos, that sparked his spiral backwards into self-hatred. But Isaac has been here before. He knows that staying here will bring nothing but more pain. He crawls up from where he was knocked down. He emerges from the storm. He's weak. Those thoughts are swirling around in his brain, but Ellie helps Isaac find himself again.
Hey, it's all right. You're a good man, Isaac. You did everything you could.
No, I didn't. I gave up, Ellie. I'm so sorry.
This must be the place. But how the hell do we find this Rosetta?
She must have a...
He can't even look her in the face, so full of guilt. He apologizes for giving up. But what is he saying sorry for? For Santos? Most definitely. But the wording here is so open that it could just mean anything. The past version of Isaac had given up. He let himself rot. He had no purpose, no ideals, no life. He's saying sorry for what he did to himself, what Ellie saw him do to himself. He's sorry for what he became. Ellie forgives him and he's revitalized, forcing himself to continue. This is about Santos, but with how importantly this scene is framed, I think it's about everything they've gone through together. He takes one look back at Santos, or should I say, that pit, the place he fell into. Like I said, he's been there before, but he dug himself out way quicker this time. He's aware of his flaws, he's aware of the things that will happen if he lets these negative feelings get to him. He looks back at this terrible place. He looks sad, but you can see resolve on his face. He even shakes his head slightly, shaking off the guilt. The guilt of losing Nicole, the guilt of Tideman Station, the guilt of not opening up, the guilt of letting himself rot away. The self-hatred too. He shakes it off. He looks where he was and where he now is. He's improved. He will never stay in that place again. He will be better. So he continues. He won't let his pain consume him. He won't get lost in that storm. Now, the story doesn't really go anywhere until we get to the Rosetta Lab and collect all of its special pieces. Serrano, the scientist from the intro, figured out that the codex can be used for something. The machine that powers the markers. Of course, this plan did fail. Mahar destroyed the codex along with the murder of everyone on Tau Volantis. His position on the matter seems downright stupid. Why wouldn't he listen to Serrano? Why didn't he turn the machine off? It would have ended the outbreak. Well, Mahar and Serrano didn't get along. There's several recordings of the two butting heads. Once he ordered the extermination of the planet and the erasure of all its documents, he decided to destroy the codex. Mahar was simply ignorant, and ignorance is bliss. In his eyes, it was better to bury the problems of the planet rather than solve them. The burying of problems and running from the past seems to be a very prevalent theme in this game. Isaac buries his past. Norton tries to run from everything, even though life as he knows it will end if he doesn't do anything about it. EarthGov kinda runs too, covering everything up, putting markers on backwater planets, thinking no one will find them. Everyone deals with half measures, and it always leads to something bad happening. Even the aliens engaged in a half measure when they froze the moon. Burying things does not solve your problems. You need to solve your problems. Otherwise, they'll just come back to haunt you. They'll come back stronger and even worse. Focusing more on the cutscene itself, this is likely the most important moment in the entire game, as it completely recontextualizes the entire franchise up until this point. Convergence, unity, it's literal. Becoming one god, one being, a sentient being born from the destruction of a species, the moon itself. Isaac comes back to reality and quickly connects the dots. It's not the machine that's producing the marker signal, it's the moon. This species didn't create the markers, they were manipulated by them. They came across them just like humans did. They followed in humanity's footsteps and faced extinction. But they went down fighting, attempting to destroy the moon, while only managing to freeze it, alongside the entire planet. They all died, a sacrifice to stop this god from becoming whole. Since then, the moon has always been here, stuck in a waking nightmare, between being awake and being asleep, body numb, with a mind racing with ideas, unable to act by itself, doomed to its prison, its own body. But wait a second, the marker signals came from the machine, but the machine isn't the source of the signal. We now know it's the moon. The sovereign colonies used the red markers to triangulate where the signals were coming from. One of the red markers they used was the one on Aegis 7. The marker on Aegis 7 was connected to the moon. The moon's signals were being spread out by the marker on Aegis 7. So what does that mean? It's always been here, the moon. This god of pain, this god of corruption, this god of manipulation. The marker in Dead Space 1 wasn't the source behind the infection. It wasn't what manipulated Kyne. It wasn't what manipulated Isaac. It was only a receiver, a signal booster. It wasn't the marker. It was the moon. It used its signals to force Isaac to escort the marker to the pedestal. It put those marker instructions in his head. It made the hive mind calm and docile. It wanted Isaac to escape. Escape so we can create markers everywhere, so humanity can birth a new moon, so the one on Tau Volantians can be freed by it, so they can be made whole. That phrase, make us whole, turn it off. It's been the moon, a god stuck within its own body, screaming out across those it infects. Make us whole, it says. Make us whole.
Understanding of science. It appeared to generate limitless energy, a trait of obvious importance in our resource-strapped times. There was an effort to replicate the marker, hoping to understand its technology, thereby acquiring limitless energy for ourselves. Imagine our surprise when we learned they are not sources of energy, but receivers of it, via carrier wave from somewhere deep in space. Triangulating this marker signal revealed a previously undetected planet, now known as Tau Volantis. We hope to find the source of this signal and finally harness the energy for ourselves. And if this works, it could mean a better future for all of us. General, thank you for your time.
It lived in Isaac's head, linked itself to him, tormenting him, using his dead girlfriend as a puppet, driving Isaac to create more markers, using those markers to spread a signal, and begin another outbreak on the sprawl. It's why it wanted Isaac to kill himself. It wanted to be made whole. It's why Nicole becomes so nice at the end of Dead Space 2. The moon itself realizes that it can't kill Isaac. Isaac finds hope, he finds acceptance, so it slimily plays on that hope. It plays on that acceptance. It lures him in, and when Isaac shoots at it, We see its heart. We see the moon's tentacles behind it, reaching out, a desperate being on the cusp of being saved from its endless prison. Ending aside, just to look at Dead Space 2, moon iconography is everywhere. The moon itself is the antagonist of every single Dead Space game, 1, 2, and 3. It is the thing that manipulated Isaac. It is the marker version of Nicole. It is the being that spoiled the soldiers' food, so they'd resort to cannibalism. There are no hostile markers in Dead Space. They're just rocks, they're useless. They just serve as ways to lengthen the influence of this god. The moon is behind everything. This twist is amazing. It takes the necromorphs from just being scary creatures to a full-on cosmic horror level event. These markers have been established to have spurred on humanity's evolution. The markers came from the moon. Essentially, humanity are cattle, born to evolve and spread, and eventually serve as fuel to form a new brethren moon. Humanity are food. It effectively makes the previous games even better. Isaac isn't just a survivor, he's gifted by life itself, fighting against a god that is millions of years old. A god versus a human. This little guy versus something beyond our comprehension. Isaac is lucky for sure, but to me, it kind of feels like destiny. Like he was born for this. Born to spite this ancient being. The moon is also intensely aware of who Isaac is as well. He foiled its plans on the Sprawl, fought back against all odds. It took Nicole away. It influenced the Church of Unitology. The moon is practically its founder. It's the Church's god. It's always been here, lurking in the background. The story is suddenly a lot more personal. It isn't just about survival anymore. It's war. The stakes have risen. An antagonist has emerged from the shadows. And it wants to be free. It wants to be whole. This realization hits Isaac like a ton of bricks, but before he can even get his thoughts straight, Danik surprises him.
Here's the key. Turning it all off. Thank you for doing all the heavy lifting.
No! It will home in on Earth's markers and hunt us down! You don't understand what you're doing!
I misunderstood initially, that's true, but it's all quite clear to me now. It's not only mankind's tampering which has hindered our glorious rebirth, but this alien machine as well.
Stay away from that machine, Danik.
No. And now that I have this, I'll be able to turn it off. The natives of this planet chose death over evolution. Now I'll make sure humanity doesn't make the same mistake. We will, all of us, be made whole.
Well, come on, kill them.
Leave them! We have what we need! Hurry!
Isaac, the codex!
Son of a bitch! You jammed the door!
There's a manual override system in the control booth. I can open it from here.
No! You'll never make it out!
It's open. Go! I'm right behind you.
Door malfunction.
We gotta shut this door.
God.
Ellie, come on! Ellie!
It's no good. It's moving too fast. Isaac, do it. Just do it. Isaac! I love you.
Isaac! Hey! That gas is still coming! We gotta go! Now!
She's all I got.
This was her mission. She knew better than anyone how important it was. Now we've got to finish this for her! Got it? Do you got it?
Yeah.
Then let's go! Isaac, now! Isaac! Move! Come on, Isaac!
I left her. Ellie.
Isaac. Hey. Keep it together. Come on, man. Don't fall apart on me. Look, Danik is headed down to that machine. We can't let him shut it down.
Then we're gonna make sure he never gets there. You got that?
All right. Hey. Hey. It looks like Danik unlocked access to all floors.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. Where'd he go? I don't know! Jesus.
Son of a bitch. Okay. All right. We're gonna split up. You take floor 1, I'll take floor 2.
Okay.
All right.
All right, just, hey. Keep your head, man. I can't do this without you.
All right.
Isaac is devastated, but the revelation of the moon's true purpose is what fuels him now. Ellie gave hope to Isaac, and now Isaac is using that hope. He will stop Danik and use the machine for its true purpose, to destroy the moon, destroy the signal, and save everyone. With Ellie dead, Isaac descends. The descent here takes on a very different meaning. Earlier, it was to represent Isaac falling and almost succumbing to his negativity. Here, it represents his descent into madness, but it also serves to represent how deep Isaac is into this mission. There's no turning back. Though I wouldn't blame him for running away if he saw these. Necromorph aliens. Now, functionally, these are just brutes, much like how the feeders are replacements of the pack. Regardless though, it is an amazing glimpse into the aliens and how the markers affected them. I wonder if we'll get any more glimpses of the aliens. and people say this game looks bad. This is perhaps one of the best locations I've ever experienced in any game ever. It's awe-inspiring in its design, seemingly taking inspiration from movies like Alien. Rough stone, a green hue that makes the area feel otherworldly, and the cherry on top are the perfectly preserved alien corpses. Statues of ancient civilizations are very fascinating already. Just look at the pyramids in real life. In real life, they serve as hints as to what the ancient Egyptian civilization was really like, displaying their achievements with grand everlasting architecture. It's the same here, except we have the added benefit of these not just being statues. These are the Tau Volantians. Text logs we find say as much. We don't just have insight into their culture through their architecture, but we can look at them and see their feelings on full display through their corpses. They're alien. They are innately unexplainable. But when I look at them, it's obvious how human they are. They comfort each other, they hold each other's hands. It's obvious they were terrified. Obvious they regretted what happened. Isaac and Carver also have a talk here too. Now again, I haven't played the co-op campaign, so I can't exactly comment on it, but it does serve to show us how Isaac has changed, and how he recognizes his own flaws.
Yeah. This is it.
I need you to promise me something. If I don't make it, you'll get this done, right?
We'll get this done, Carver. You and me.
Yeah, but if I don't... I helped get us this far. And that's close enough for all this to count, right?
Count for what?
For... I don't know, just... all the bad I've done.
Oh, shut up, Carver. You're a good man.
I alienated my son. Wrecked my family. Isaac, I killed Santos. Is that what a good man does?
Good men mean well. You just don't always end up doing well.
Yeah. Hey. I'm sorry about Ellie, man.
Me too. Me too.
This way! Clear that rubble! Look, Stan, it's not too late.
We'll turn it back now, right?
Let's go get that codex.
We had to look at Isaac as representing the hope of humanity, that in general he applies to the entirety of humanity as well. Humans generally want to do good. There are certainly bad people among us, but as a species we are born with a capacity to empathize, to reason. We mean well, but do we always do well? No. We are flawed. But we can work through those flaws, and to do that, we must maintain our hope. This sentence may also apply to the aliens as well. They meant well. They made markers presumably for the same reasons humans did. They meant well, but they didn't do well. To make up for this huge mistake, they sacrificed their entire species. Speaking of aliens, Isaac and Carver get the machine ready, and we get a few calls from Danik. One call lets us know that Ellie is alive.
Ellie? Isaac! You're alive! But how did you...
I escaped the delivery tubes, but they caught me. Isaac, they're gonna call you up at the... Ah! Let go of me!
Shut up, heretic!
Ah!
I have the codex, Danik. If you want it, you have to find it.
No, I won't. You're heading to the machine. And when you get there, I'll be waiting.
We finally get to the heart of the machine. We find Serrano, long dead. Then we have one final climbing segment, and the alien poses continue to tell us environmental storytelling. I'll be honest, I kinda teared up at this part. These aren't just random aliens, but actual intelligent beings. They seem to be reassuring each other, telling each other that this will work, that the machine has to work, and their sacrifice must be done. They cradle one another, knowing this is their end. They seem to be scared of dying. Their death is necessary. but at least they'll be making a difference before they do.
What do you think is worse, Buckle? Dying along with everyone else, or being the only one who survives?
It's not the dying that scares me. It's not making a difference before I do.
Once we get to the top, we see Danik and Ellie.
Ellie! Isaac, don't do it. Don't listen to him.
Give me the codex and you can have her back.
No! Isaac, you know what's at stake.
Okay, everybody calm down, okay? Danik? Give me the codex, or I will kill her! No! Isaac, what are you doing? You got a second chance.
If he turns off the machine, we're all dead. Her? Us? Everyone.
Don't let it all go dark, Isaac. There's more than one kind of right. No! I've done it. I've finally done it. The darkness is at an end. Let the evolution begin.
Ellie, when I finish this, it's all going down. Everything. You have to go.
No! You two get out of here. Go back to Earth space. Tell them what we found. I'm staying. That's all I got left.
You can't stop it, Carver. Not without me. I'm the marker killer, remember?
Isaac!
I turned my back on the world because I was afraid of what needed to be done. Ellie, I'm not afraid anymore.
There's a shuttle over there. I want you to take it and head for home. Don't come back for me. We both know I'm not going home. Go! Coming apart behind us! Carver! I see the machine! We have to get it before the moon does! Copy that! I'll meet you there!
Danik is unceremonially killed, a display of how insignificant he really was. Isaac and Ellie share a moment, Isaac speaking about himself, how he was afraid of what needed to be done. I wondered what he meant by that. He's saying he was afraid of exposing himself, afraid of opening up, afraid of living, afraid of striving for a better world, one that was so corrupted by pain, afraid of having hope. But he isn't afraid anymore. He isn't afraid of doing what's best for everyone. He isn't afraid of losing Ellie. He's internalized this hope, this change, and now he's using it as fuel to save not just her, but everyone. He himself has become a beacon of hope. Maybe that's why he gives this photo to Ellie. She was his beacon, and now he is hers. She can use this hope to inspire the rest of the human race. He gives Ellie this photo as not only a reminder to their time together, but also as motivation. He has passed to her the lesson that he learnt. Now she must take it back and spread this hope amongst the stars. Isaac is sad, but he has a goal now, and that goal involves his death. And killing that moon will be the difference he makes to everyone before he does. So we come to the final chapter of the game. The corpses of the aliens are silently screaming, their sacrifice in vain. The moon stares down at us, hastily protecting the one thing that can lead to its destruction. And Isaac? He's just one man, but he will finish this. He has to. He fights through this vortex of stone and gore, a race to see who gets to the machine first. Humanity's last singular hope, or a god, eager to exact revenge on those that imprisoned it. Two rivals, and one final battle. It's at this point, while Isaac makes his way to the moon, that I wanted to discuss the origins of Isaac's name. Don't think I forgot, I was saving it for this specific moment. In a religious context, Isaac refers to a boy born from a miracle. Isaac from the Bible had parents who are 90 and 100 years old. The point I'm trying to make is, Isaac from the Bible is created from something beyond us, something unexplainable. Now, am I saying that God exists in Dead Space? Well, no. But Isaac in the games does go through his fair share of miracles. That's kinda his thing, really. Isaac is very lucky. He somehow survives Ishimura, he somehow survives Dead Space 2, and lives long enough to combat a literal god deity in the third game. The point I'm making is, he's lucky, or rather, destined to fulfill a purpose. It's why when Isaac flies towards the machine, the alien corpses literally herald him forth, as if he's some sort of prophet or holy child, or warrior. Of course, the aliens wouldn't know who Isaac is, but they specifically left words behind like warrior for the humans. Perhaps they foretold of a warrior that would finish off the moon. Maybe Isaac is that warrior they foretold of. Isaac lands, the moon's eyes recognizing him instantly, staring him down. It knows who he is. It's tried to kill him all this time. We see its eyes narrow with rage. As for Isaac, there's only one thing he has to say to this monster, this thing that fucked his life up for so long.
That thing? There's not enough ammo in the world! Then we'll have to make some up. Look, there's markers floating all around me. I can use this TK charging plate and throw them as weapons.
The moon is pretty big though. Killing it won't be easy. So Isaac instead uses his telekinesis module, using floating markers around the arena to blind the moon. I love the symbolism here, of Isaac using the markers to inflict damage upon this god. It represents how small the markers are in the bigger picture. They don't mean anything, they're just rocks. Tools that were used by an even greater threat. Isaac using them to inflict harm mirrors how the moon used the markers to also inflict harm on humanity. Both beings are using the moon as tools, which kinda puts Isaac on par with the moon itself. It also represents Isaac's evolution and his strength. The marker of Dead Space 1 was used to manipulate him, and it succeeded for so long. But now, he's surrounded by markers, surrounded by the moon's telepathic strength, yet he is unaffected. He's immune to its tricks.
Carver! Just hang on! I'm gonna have to pull you through his guts! So this is it, huh? We use that codex.
Yeah.
No more bullshit. We die here, now.
But Earth gets it tomorrow.
After taking out the moon, Isaac reactivates the machine. He flies into an icy abyss, floating helplessly. It's both horrifying and beautiful. He can't control his velocity. He couldn't control his ultimate fate either. But it's beautiful for that very same reason. He can't fight this. He takes one last look at Ellie, and lets the picture fly away. He is accepting of the fact that he will never see her again. Accepting that this is it. He extends his arms as death takes him. He made a difference. He isn't scared of dying anymore. Isaac has been made whole.
Isaac? Isaac? Are you there? Carver? Isaac? You're gone, aren't you? The mark signal has gone too. Isaac, you did it. You really did it.
Earth space coordinates confirmed. Shock drive enabled. Standing by.